Today I'm going to put the new Liberty 5 under the microscope to see what Soundcore have to offer with their latest earbuds. Hi, my name is Andy and you're watching Andy's Tech Tone. Thanks for tuning in. Quick disclaimer, I got the earbuds from the manufacturer for testing, but I'm not getting paid, nor did I give preview privileges to anyone, so all you get is my honest and unfiltered opinion. As for the earbuds and their design, we get pretty much what we would expect from Soundcore at this point. The Liberty 5 comes with a sleek-looking, stem-style design with plenty of glossy plastics used all around. The build quality is excellent. I dropped the earbuds on concrete once already, but there are no marks or any visible damage. The IP55 dust and waterproof rating is an improvement over both the Liberty 4NC and the Liberty 4 Pro. I know the Liberty 5 is technically the successor to the Liberty 4, but I have never tested those buds, so I'm going to use the 4NC and the 4 Pro as the base of my comparisons throughout this video. So back to the Liberty 5, the IP55 certificate along with the secure fit of the buds make them perfect for exercise, and its excellent transparency mode can only strengthen its positions as a great running companion, but more about that in a minute. The long-term comfort is good. Once I had the earbuds in for like 5 hours straight with a 1.5 hour long run in the middle with no comfort issues whatsoever. And we get 6 sets of round-shaped silicone ear tips to choose from, so that's all good, even though I personally prefer the oval-shaped tips of the Liberty 4NC. And while your mileage might vary in terms of overall fit and comfort, the fact that the Liberty 5 is ever so slightly lighter than either the 4NC or the 4 Pro is something that probably cannot hurt. The battery case is compact enough, pocket-friendly enough, and the sliding lid gives us easy access to the earbuds. However, the sliding mechanism is not quite as springy or solid as it is on the case of the 4 Pro, but on the other hand, the 5's case is somewhat smaller, so that's something to keep in mind. I personally prefer having the pop-up lid with the button you can find on the Liberty 4NC, as it proved to be rock solid over time and it still works as well as on day one, even though these buds are the ones my wife has been using on the daily for the last year or so. On to the battery life of the Liberty 5, it's got a bit of a boost compared to the previous generation. With the ANC turned off, we can get up to 12 hours of use time with the earbuds and up to 48 hours in total with the case. That drops to about 8 hours and 32 hours respectively with the ANC enabled. Using any of the Dolby 3D audio modes or the LDAC codec can eat up the batteries much faster, but even in those cases you can get up to around 5 hours of use per charge. 10 minutes of fast charging can yield 5 hours of use, and of course we get not only the USB Type-C port, but also compatibility with the Qi wireless charging standard. And if you look at the numbers of the older models, the Liberty 5 shows an improvement when compared to the Liberty 4 or the 4 Pro, but the Liberty 4NC is able to deliver a similar performance across the board. But overall, I would say that the battery department of the Liberty 5 does not disappoint. And neither does the Bluetooth 5.4 wireless chip, which offers LDAC codec support, dual device connection, single bud mode, Google Fast Pair and a low latency game mode. I had no connection or lip sync issues, and I had not experienced any drop signals during my tests. One of my favorite features on all Soundcore buds is the dual connection menu in the app, where you can find a list of previously connected devices with the option to manually switch between them all. And this dual device connection or multipoint works across all platforms, so whether you have Android, Apple or Windows devices, you can use any two of them at the same time. The switching between devices happens automatically with both phone calls and media playback. The LDAC codec is so demanding that there tend to be restrictions, such as it cannot be used along with the dual device connection or with any DSP-hungry special audio modes, but in this case, Soundcore managed to find a way to make LDAC work just fine along with both dual device connection and Dolby audio. The one exception here is the gaming mode, which simply gets grayed out in the menu as long as LDAC is enabled. And speaking of the app, there is loads of other settings and options on the menu there. On the main page, you can find the 3 ambient modes, all the EQ settings, the Hear ID test and the custom control settings, all of which I will talk about more later on. Then in the settings menu, there is the in-call awareness switch, the wearing detection switch for automatic play and pause, and the sound leakage compensation switch, but to this day I'm not sure what it does even though it's available on all Soundcore buds. Safe volume on the other hand is something that can be helpful as it will allow you to monitor, or even better, to limit your exposure to higher volumes, and that can be crucial from the standpoint of your hearing health in the long run. In the prompt tones menu, you can customize your audio prompts. In the sound mode menu, you can enable the LDAC codec. In the dual connections menu, you can manage your source devices. The fit test will tell you whether you use the correct sized tips for your ears. Then you get an auto power off timer and find device, where you can ping your earbuds in case you misplace them. This is quite a comprehensive list of features, but I did not expect anything less from Soundcore, as they always deliver on the software front, and they did it again here with the Liberty 5. And where I also expect top-of-the-class performance from the manufacturer is the controls. Similarly to the Liberty 4 and the 4 Pro, we get squeeze controls on each of the stems. It means that a simple tap will not register, but you will have to sort of pinch the stem instead. There is a single, double, triple and a long press option, all of which are customizable on each side, giving you all the functionality you might need, all at the same time. Play, pause, tracks, volume, ambient modes, your voice assistant and phone calls can all be controlled from the stems. As a new feature, you can now mute the mics with a single press during a phone call, and you can also use the single press action as a remote controller for your camera and take a photo with your phone. That's all brilliant, but my gripe with the controls is that the panels do not give me much of a feedback, if anything at all, when I squeeze them. It all works much better on the 4 Pro, and the king of all pinch controls, the AirPods Pro 2, is also much easier to use in that regard. Of course, you can get used to these controls as well in a day or two, but I still find them a bit stiff or unresponsive at times. Other than that, it's all good, and we also get the smart sensors for pausing media playback automatically when we remove the earbuds from our ears. But while my opinion on the controls is sort of mixed, it's all much more positive when it comes to assessing the ANC. Overall, the noise cancelling performance is hardly distinguishable from that of the Liberty 4 Pro or the 4 and C, but in the mid to high frequencies, there is some extra attenuation which becomes apparent with loads of background chatter or random noises in the mix, and that can be a real-life advantage in some cases. And even though it's just a minor improvement, it's an improvement nonetheless over the already excellent ANC of both previous models. And on top of that, the transparency mode got clearly and noticeably better, as it is by far the most natural and clean sounding out of the three, with the lowest amount of white noise. And this well-balanced ambient mode makes the Liberty 5 a great alternative for those who want to maintain awareness of their surroundings while out and about, hence my earlier remark on how good these buds work for running. Plus, there is the option to turn on wind noise reduction in both ANC and transparency mode, which makes the Liberty 5 usable across all outdoor scenarios.
Now on to the sound quality. Let's see how the 6 mic setup and the AI noise cancellation can deal with the elements such as wind and traffic noise. So this is the audio quality you can expect from the Soundcore Liberty 5 during a phone call while you are out and about. And for a quick comparison, now let's see how the mics on the Soundcore Liberty 4 Pro can handle the same conditions outside. And out of sheer curiosity, I will throw in another audio sample here from the mics on board the Soundcore Liberty 4 and C.
As for the sound of the Liberty 5, we get 9.2mm wool paper drivers and dual bass enhancing tubes, which can amplify the resonance of those low frequency sound waves for a more powerful bass output. And the bottom octave is indeed boosted and thumping with plenty of kick. It's not quite as extended, nor it is as snappy or nuanced as the bass notes on the Skullcandy Method 360A and C, but the amount of energy we get in the bottom octaves is very similar. When compared to the Liberty 4 Pro, I can sense that extra resonance down below, but the difference is not substantial. The mid-range is fairly open and forward, and we also get plenty of details, but vocals could step a bit closer, and I also miss a touch of a sweetness from the voice of both male and female singers. The highs are extended, they convey loads of micro detail, and we get plenty of energy up top, which combined with the strong bass makes the overall sound character extremely dynamic and powerful. Closer to maximum volume, the upper octaves can get a bit out of hand for my taste, but again, at 100% the output is way beyond what I would personally deem usable or healthy even. That said, volume junkies will be happy for sure, as the volume is on par with the extremely loud Method 360A and C, and it's well beyond what either the Liberty 4 and C or the 4 Pro can do. In terms of imaging, we get a precise but also a bit tight of a soundscape with not much separation. It's similar to that of the Liberty 4 Pro, however it's an improvement over the Liberty 4 and C. When compared to the Skullcandy buds, everything sounds a bit more center-focused, forward and in between your ears on the Liberty 5. The differences are minuscule, but they are there. And speaking of soundscape, if you want to play around with that on your Liberty 5 earbuds, you get the Dolby 3D audio feature. There are 3 different so-called immersive modes: music, podcast, and movie. The podcast mode cuts off the lower frequencies, which, while improves speech intelligibility, it also makes every voice sound thin and a bit lifeless. The music mode might add some sense of extra depth and overall roominess to your music, but turning it on slightly changes timbre, and it does not only add reverb to the sound, but also some sort of a metallic ringing in some cases, which I find rather distracting, especially with acoustic or more classical genres. With the movie mode, we get some extra dynamics and a more rumbling bass, but that added reverb does nothing good to the sound in my opinion, and there is no head tracking either. So Dolby algorithms or not, I don't like any of these modes at all. I would rather play around with Hear ID or the preference AB sound tests and then customize the results with the 8-band manual EQ until I find a frequency response curve that suits my personal taste. And of course you can save multiple profiles there to cover multiple use cases or genres. So what do we make of all this? Well, in my opinion, the Soundcore Liberty 5 is a solid update for the most part. We get an improved ANC with an excellent transparency mode, there is more bass, more volume, more battery, more functionality with the controls, and better protection against the elements thanks to the IP55 badge. But all that comes in at a price of $129, which is the same as that of the Liberty 4 Pro at the time of making this video. And between the two, it's pretty much a toss-up, and it all comes down to personal preference. If you want a smart case or the more responsive squeeze controls, get the 4 Pro. If you want a slightly more compact overall package, a slightly more bass or a slightly better ANC, then the Liberty 5 is the way to go. As for the Liberty 4 NC, it's $99, it comes with oval-shaped tips and a case which opens and closes with the press of a button. Both features are something I personally like a lot. However, the better transparency mode, the IP55 rating, and the more dynamic sound character are all traits that might be worth paying the extra money for. Unfortunately, again, I could not test the Liberty 4 itself, so I cannot really tell how it compares to the Liberty 5. But at the end of the day, what I can say is that Soundcore now have a whole host of earbuds around the $100 mark, with only nuances to distinguish one from the other, and I don't think that you can go wrong with buying any of them at this point, as they all offer a great sound, top-of-the-class ANC, and the best smartphone app in this price bracket. What tips the scales in favor of the Liberty 5 in my case is the fact that they can serve me better during my workouts, whether it's in a gym or outside, thanks to its thumping, energizing bass, the dust and waterproof design, the great ANC, and the even better transparency mode. And this was my take on the Soundcore Liberty 5 earbuds. If you liked the video, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Feel free to comment away should you have anything to ask or share. Thanks for watching everyone. Hope to see you all in the next one.